everybody. Happy Thursday to you. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am Dale with Firepoint, and today I am joined by Travis Tom from Walled Garden. Welcome, Travis. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Dale. Pleasure to be here.
So I'm always excited to do webinars. I love doing webinars and hosting webinars with smart people like you, Travis. But today I'm especially excited because not only are you an expert at Facebook marketing, but you and your team have built this amazing tool that is now fully integrated into Firepoint. And so it's a double whammy for me today. I'm really excited. And we're going to be sharing all of this in the context of how to dominate the spring market starting today. What things you can do today to start dominating your spring market. And Travis is going to be sharing with us a lot of the things that he learned over his very successful real estate career and now career in Facebook marketing and social media marketing. So Travis, tell us a little bit about you before we get started.
Definitely. So I'm a Facebook marketing strategist for the real estate industry. I run a Facebook advertising agency. We've generated, almost close to we're about to break over 1 million real estate leads. We've generated over the past 7 years. I'm also a consultant and advisor to I sit on the Facebook advisory board at Facebook headquarters. Work closely with their team. We ran campaigns all across the world for real estate. You name it, and we've done it in some form of capacity. Early on in my career, though, I started in real estate when I was 18 years old. So I've been in the industry for about 20 years. And with that, we learned a lot of what to do and what not to do, especially with Facebook marketing. And as I started my career, it was a bit of a rocky career. The first 2 to 3 years, I was young. I didn't know what I was doing. I wasted a ton of energy door knocking. On my first year, I actually door knocked on 2,500 homes and heard no 2,500 different times, which was, definitely a learning curve and a bit of a disappointment. I don't look as young as I did then. Right. So I have a little bit more of a credibility because I look older, but back then I was young. So I had to really get crafty on my strategies. And a lot of that was then learning internet marketing and learning how to get in front of a lot of people in a very short amount of time with a small amount of money. And I'm going to show you today how I built some of these strategies and methodologies that allowed me, my team, at the height of my career in real estate. I had 271 listings. That was my listing inventory. We had a lot of new construction development sales. We had a lot of single properties. We then grew team to 34 people into 3 different real estate companies. So it was an exciting time. And today I'm going to reveal and pull back the curtain and show you step by step the number one singular strategy that allowed me to get to that large listing inventory.
Love it. So, here we go. So tell us a little bit about what you did there for your internet marketing strategy.
So as soon as we would get a listing, we had a whole goal around every listing that we generated, which was that we very quickly would put together a single property website that we would develop for that. We would then develop a Facebook ad for it and drive traffic to it, right? We would create essentially what we would call a walled garden around that listing to generate as many leads as we could. That was typically step one through the process there. And with that, we would then start to market that to people in our local market, and they would also just generate a lot of interest and buzz from there. So the first thing is that single property website. Now, we would build these on WordPress. We had, had hired designers, and it would take, a lot of time and effort to write the website copy and then to build the Facebook ad for it. So first things first, though, was doing that. And we're going to walk you through exactly the walled garden process because it eliminates a lot of that headache of having to hire designers or having to actually spend a lot of time learning Facebook, which is the really cool part about this. So we would generate a Facebook ad for it, and we would then drive traffic to it. Now, with that, we would then really hone in on the ad copy. And we found out that the ad copy was also really critical to get a higher click-through rate and get people to actually grab their attention. And I'm going to show you that a little bit later, the right ad copy that's really going to pull people in. All right, let's move on to the next one here.
Yeah, and so real quick, before we move on, Travis, I do have one question. What was the goal in creating this walled garden environment that you talked about? Single property website, create the ads, start generating, some eyeballs on that. What's your goal in marketing your listings this way?
So our whole goal was our end goal was to get 2 buyers in one listing, essentially, from every campaign, from every listing that we had. So to generate 2 buyers in one listing to continue to really build that type of inventory. And the strategy beyond that is when we would generate then the listing from that, then of course it would kind of compound, this compounding effect, because we would do this rinse and repeat methodology. And then the buyers, of course, then we would then work their friends and family and sphere of influence to get more listings out of them. So we would kind of this multi-strategy kind of T-shaped approach to the end goal for every listing that we promoted. But the bigger effect of that is that it was creating this omnipresence, and it created this authority around our brand, because other people would see that we were promoting these single property websites. They would see our Facebook ads, and it would really start to position us as, our tagline that we developed over time was that we were a marketing firm that happened to sell real estate. So it really started to really build this perception that we were the listing experts. In today's world, sadly, is if we don't see friends or family or people that we have professional relationships on, if we don't see them on social media, or we don't see some of their ads, sometimes we forget that they exist, right? Or that they're actually in the business itself. And you have that one local broker in your market, right, that you either admire or your frenemies with, or whatever it might be, but you love their brand, or they have a certain brand awareness about them, typically because they are building up this digital mind share. Then you see their ads online, and you see their branding, you see their single property websites, or their whatever websites their marketing has. So that starts to really build this authority figure, right? The perception is the reality, especially with social media today. So you need to market yourself and build a comprehensive brand with your listings, and have a kind of presence that no one else really has. Because if you're just taking listings, selling them, and then moving on your way, and you're not amplifying the marketing around them, odds are no one is, a lot of people in your market aren't going to be aware of your success. And your success isn't just selling the listing. Your success is getting the listing and marketing it, because that's going to then gravitate. That's going to build that gravitational pull of getting more people to come to you. So that's just step one of the process.
Love it. All right.
So of course, this is key, right? Having a lead capture before they actually go to the single property website. And this is where, we started to really kind of finesse and fine tune this over time, which was, how can we get leads to opt in before they see the single property website? And we had it at one point, we would drive traffic to the single property website and have some sort of lead capture there, but it was then a little too late for us, right? Some of the people would then convert, some of them wouldn't. They would see the photos, they already got what they wanted. We would, offer some type of lead magnet. But what we've sort of been doing is leveraging Facebook lead ads. And Facebook lead ads are a simple ad format inside of Facebook that is lightning fast. It's right behind the ad, and it's still inside of Facebook. So it is really a higher conversion tool because it extracts the person's name, email, and phone number from their social profile. And then we ask them a qualifying question, which is, when do they plan on buying the new home? Next 30 days, all the way up to 12 months, and just looking. So that we would get their information, and then we would send them over to the single property website. And then now, once on the website, that's when you have the opportunity, as they're looking at the website, to automate your outbound reach to them, right? That's where you schedule some sort of automated text message to reach out and say, hey, thanks so much for checking out the listing on Facebook that we posted. Not quite sure if you're going to be in town or not, but we have a list of open houses that we'd love to share with you. Or then this is when you start to pivot towards sellers and getting listings, is you start to then focus on the next follow-up question, which we'll get into in just a minute here. We'll go move on to the next slide there.
Okay.
Okay, so before I get into how we start to generate some of those seller leads, I want to talk about, it's a crazy market, right? And that's where you really need to leverage technology in the fast-paced market. When I was doing this with my team, back when I was in real estate, we were hand building single property websites. We were having to go through and add photos and add website copy, right? And then we were also running around with contracts and trying to learn Facebook marketing at the same time. There really wasn't any time for lunch or dinner or seeing friends and family, right? It was just go, 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 go. And time is really of the essence, especially right now in today's market. So you need to leverage technology and really dive into automation tools that's going to allow you to win back your time, win back your life. But if you don't have any listings to promote yourself, you can borrow other agents' listings, just like you're going to do with open houses. Right? The same kind of thing, except it's a lot easier because you're not setting up an open house and setting up signs and buying the cookies and the balloons and doing the whole marketing of that. This is where you're just going through and creating an ad and then marketing that and generating it. So same kind of concept. You can borrow other agents' listings, ask them for permission, and then market those. And it's a great way to really build some of your early success if you don't have any listings, piggybacking on others. Now, if you're going to start to do this, you want to run a minimum of 2 ads a month to generate around 75 to 100 leads a month. And this is a track record we're seeing right now, especially with walled garden instead of Firepoint, is the cost per lead is really low. We're seeing some leads come in at $1.25, some leads come in at 89 cents, some leads come in at $4.26. So it's really low cost per lead compared to the national average cost per lead for most Facebook ad campaigns if you're doing it yourself is around anywhere from $8 to $14 per lead. And if you talk about some of the other leads beyond that, right, they get really expensive. So you can generate a lot of leads to start to generate around 75 to 100 leads a month from running 2 ads through walled garden and Firepoint. You're going to build up that pipeline, right, of around 375 to 500 leads in between now and April or May. You're going to build that private pond that you can fish out of. And that private pond is your leads, right? They're not being sold to anybody else. You generated them. It's for you to focus on. And the conversion rate that we're seeing is typically around 2.5%. If you're following up with via text message and email, if you have some kind of automation tool that you're leveraging inside of Firepoint to really get those text messages out, to really nurture those prospects, provide value, and get them to respond. So with that kind of conversion rate, right, of 2.5%, out of those 500 clients, let's say, we're going to have almost 13 clients for the spring market, right? That's going to really start to propel you into then the summer market. And if you then continue and start to do that again and again, as you get more listings using the same kind of methodology that we're talking about today, it's going to compound that over time, right? And consistency is key with this.
So there's one quick question. What makes a great ad?
What makes a great ad? Okay, so there's the anatomy of a ad, especially for real estate, specifically for marketing properties. There's definitely a lot of key factors in there. So what makes a great ad? One is going to be the imagery. The ad image itself is about 90% of the campaign performance. The ad image, there's a company called Consumer Acquisitions that did a study on 100,000 different Facebook ads. And they saw through a lot of the eye tracking is that people would look at the image first to analyze and see, one, if it was relevant for them. And it was really almost a 2-second test to see, is this relevant to me? Should I pay attention to this or should I scroll past it? And especially in today's mobile news feed where people navigate through, they scroll through two and a half times faster than they do on desktop. So you have to create kind of a thumb stopper in a way, which is you want to have an image that stands out. Now, historically, what we've seen with Facebook and we've some different eye tracking studies is that the exterior image of a home generates a much higher click-through rate than the interior image of a home. And I see this time and time again where we'll have a campaign that is the exterior image of a home. It's getting a lot more leads, lower cost per lead. Then you have an ad that is like the living room maybe, or it's the bedroom or bathroom or kitchen. That's going to get a lot less leads, much higher cost per lead. So the imagery itself is really important. Choose an exterior image of the property. It could be the backyard. It could be the front curbside image, which is typically what we suggest. Now from there, it's about having top copy. Top copy is the top part of the ad copy, the very, very top part. And that's typically where you ask a question. And what we're trying to do with that is trying to get inside the consumer's mind. And the consumers, most of us, we're asking ourselves questions, right? I mean, Google and everything else in life, search queries, they're typically, majority of them are all questions. So we want to ask them a question like, have you seen this amazing home? Have you seen this brand new property just hit the market? We're asking the question because we want them to stop and pay attention to the question itself and ask themselves internally what that it might be. Odds are they probably haven't, no. But what we're really doing is asking them if they're in the market. So a little bit of some subconscious kind of ad copy there, right? And the ad copy formula that we use is called AIDA. AIDA. It stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. So we're going to grab their attention with the ad imagery and then with the top copy by asking them, have you seen this beautiful, amazing home today? And then we're pulling in with some interest. Now, the interest is typically describing what the home is about. Now, this is typically about the first 3 lines of the ad copy. It's what we call teaser copy. You're describing that this is a gorgeous home on a half an acre lot with 4,000 square feet, a backyard pool. That's the interest. You're pulling in their interest because they're saying, oh, that's something that I'm actually, I want. I'm looking for a home with a pool and a big backyard, where that might be. The desire is really all of it kind of mixed up together, but the desire is also then telling them that there's something beyond here, right? That there's photos, prices, and details that they can access beyond just this ad. So we're building the desire, and then the action part is telling them to take specific action, right? See all the photos and details, right? Click here. And beyond just the front surface of the ad, especially in Facebook lead ads, the next part of that is the lead ad form, where then we have the micro copy. See all the photos in details today, right? Get the pricing, get all the photos, right? See the entire home. Click here to see the home now. So we're using that micro copy to keep leaving breadcrumbs to keep them moving forward. So all of those elements of ad copy are micro conversions that we're focusing on. Little micro conversions lead to the macro conversions. The macro conversion being that they end up being a lead. They end up giving their information. They end up going to the single party website. They end up then communicating to you via text message. They end up having some sort of conversation that converts into an actual client or an appointment. So there's micro conversions in the ad copy, builds it up to that macro conversion. And we're going to show you an example of that pretty soon here.
Great. So what do you do after you get leads from these Facebook ads?
So once you get the leads and they start coming in, they start flowing in, then it's critical to keep in mind, right, our entire goal, our mantra, which is that we want 2 buyers and 1 listing from every ad that we get. So with that, we got to focus on the right questions. And the right questions are going to open up that path towards new listings. So for instance, text message, right? Hi, Chris. Thank you for checking out the home I posted on Facebook. I'm putting together a list of houses that are going to be held open that are in the same price range as this home. Would you like me to send you a list of them? Also, I'm putting together some home valuations for people in the area. Do you currently own a home? So what we're doing is, 1, we're thanking them for taking action. right? For being an action taker and moving forward and actually giving us information. We're tying it back that it was on Facebook because a good majority of people and leads, they're clicking on lots of different things and they randomly get a text message. You want it to be hyper relevant, right? So they can identify where it came from and kind of pull back their memory a little bit. It's a memory recall there. From there, the next thing is we're offering a list of houses that are going to be held open in the same price range. We're recognizing their need, right? Their original intent, which is to see the home or see homes that are like it. So we're recognizing that, and then we're providing value, which is really critical to provide reciprocity and build value in that. Early on in my career, when I was kind of going through what I call failing forward, which I wasn't getting any listings, I wasn't getting any buyers. This was, when I was like 19, 20, 21. My parents gave me this book called Stephen Covey, 7 Highly Effective Habits. And there's one paragraph in there that really changed a lot of how I marketed myself and my business and listings, which is that you have to make an emotional deposit with someone before you can make withdrawal. Otherwise, it's going to end up in a negative balance. So the whole principle around that is that you are building reciprocity by giving value to someone. You're giving an emotional deposit before you ask for some sort of withdrawal. So again, would you like a list of open houses? Right? Same price range as the one you just looked at. Also, I'm putting together some home valuations, right? Letting people know that you're active in the market, that other people recognize you as a source, as a leader or an expert. So you're working with other people, right? And people are now actually starting to kind of resonate with. The top Google search for real estate agents right now is top real estate agent in the markets, right? Top, best real estate agent in the market. So subconsciously, again, we're weaving in there that you're already working with people. People are asking you for home valuations. So it adds social proof that you're the authority figure that they should work with, right? This like nice subconscious thing that we've woven in there. So also I'm putting together a list of home valuations. Do you want one? Or do you own a home currently? Which is critical to ask that question. Do you own a home currently? If they say yes, then congratulations. We now have a seller lead. So now we can then pivot the conversation, pivot the script, and start to work on nurturing them as a seller lead. So perfect, great, thanks. What's the address of the property? Also, are there any updates that you've done to the home? I want to make sure that I dial in the pricing just right because there's a house that we have in a market that just sold for $150,000 over asking. And I want to make sure that you're getting your home priced correctly and not leaving any money on the table. Can you tell me of any updates, new paint, new windows? So again, you're now positioning yourself that you're working for them on their behalf right off the bat, right? Adding more value, protecting their interests, protecting their nest egg, and you're working to get them more money. So focus on that. Now, if they say, I don't own a home, perfect, that's great. I want to verify your email. And is this the price range that you're looking at? Let's talk about, when you plan on buying. I'm going to generate this list of open houses going to be held open. Are there different areas you're looking at? So, they can dovetail in the different ways. But the seller leads, about 20% of the leads that are coming through here are typically people that own a home that need to sell, but they're looking out to the market first, trying to identify, is that the right school district we should be in? What are homes selling for? We are trying to secure some sort of home, future property for us before we list our house statistically. So it's good to follow up with that question. And again, that mantra of we're going to get 2 buyers and 1 listing from every listing we promote.
Love it. So you're getting, like you said, 20% of those leads coming through are from homeowners when you're advertising this way through Facebook.
Typically, yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's great. So if you don't mind pausing for just a second, there are 2 questions I wanted to throw your way, Travis, before we move on to the next slide. The first is, these days we do not see many open houses. Most of them are virtual. How do we handle that situation?
Right. So I would just follow up with, putting together a list of houses that are going to be held open virtually. And, in your network of other people, and hopefully there's people that either have virtual tours or they have a video, right? Or they actually have a virtual open house that they're arranging. Sometimes that can be few and far between, but you can scrap together, a list or a handful of properties or agents that are doing that. Or you can suggest to them, I can do some video recordings of some properties and get that to you. So you can change the open house list a little bit more. You can say, I can send you a list of new listings that have just hit the market in the same price range. So it doesn't always have to be an open house, but you can kind of play with that a little bit and follow up with people to see what resonates the most, what's getting the most engagement. There's a lot of different opportunities to kind of shift that specific question there, but typically it all boils down to a list of homes.
And sorry, 1 second, I'm having trouble with my audio here.
Yeah, no worries.
I think I got it back. So one more question. So we were talking about in the last slide, running minimum of 2 ads per month to generate, 75 to 100 leads. And if you don't have any listings, try to borrow somebody else's listing and promote that,
Right.
Market it that way. David asked, do you suggest an additional ad for every status change of each home?
I think that can be done in multiple different ways. When you're generating a lot more interest with it being active listing, right? There's a lot of interest around that. I think that if you're going to, think of it statistically from where would you get a lot of the low-hanging fruit seller leads, it's going to be your own database. So from there, I would follow up with your sphere of influence, right? People in your local, market area, your own neighborhood, and the people, your areas that you're farming and friends and family. Then you're going to take that and turn it into more of an email marketing campaign. And the reason why I say that is because it's a much easier response, either via text message or email marketing being a little bit more acceptable, that you can then showcase more of a case study. How I sold this house for $25,000 over asking in only 18 days on the market, right? Whatever it might be. So you want to come up with more of a storytelling approach that's a case study that will position you as the authority figure, right? As the marketing expert for, listings and selling listings. And that is an opportunity for you to then pitch, one, how you sold the home and break it down, right? We created a Facebook ad for it. We created a beautiful single property website for it. We created, postcards, for it. And we had a virtual tour and drone footage. Whatever you do for your listings, it's a great way to tell the story and then show screenshots and present it in a really nice way. And email marketing with that to your database, people are going to see that and they're going to go, oh, wow, right. Dave's on fire. He's doing a great job. We should hit reply and say, hey, my sister's going to sell her home. She absolutely needs this, right? We would love that. And that way you can have a call to action in the case study, which is, do you currently know what your home is worth today, right? Let's talk about it. So I would position it that way. And if there's any kind of thing right now, especially as things go through status changes, pretty fast, rapidly, there may not be just enough time, right, for each status change to really market that effectively through Facebook. But if you turn it into an email marketing, you turn it into a blog article, and then you just, use any kind of distribution to really get that out in a different way, specifically your sphere of influence, that's going to be the better way to really kind of get more seller leads from your own pond.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. That's all the
right.
questions for now.
Perfect. So once you have a healthy list of leads, right, that are coming in from this campaign, what you want to do is then, right, promote that to your database, right? Again, promote it to people that you've sold homes to, people that are in your local market, in your local neighborhood, right? Your friends and family sphere of influence. You want to tell them, hey, I've generated so if it's, if that was 500 leads, right? Or let's say we're at 75, it's your first month. I have 75 active buyers that are looking for a property. And this is what we've done. We've built a single property website for our client's home. We then drove traffic to it through people, on Facebook. Let them know, what you're the reasoning behind how you got these prospects, because you're telling the marketing story again to people that may be future clients. So you're selling them basically what you do as your service, but you're asking them a question which is more focused on then, hey, I have this list of buyers. Are you interested in selling soon? Because I have a lot of people that would love to buy a property, right? And it's a low inventory right now. So what you're doing is you're doing two things there. You're selling what you do and the professional marketing that you provide to those sellers. And then you were saying, I've got a lot of people that are working with me. So I've got an inventory and we can make this happen pretty quick. And that way you're seen in two different lights there, right? And that can develop a lot of different conversations. Again, this is a great way to email or send out some sort of text message to your database and really emphasize this and get conversations going. And make it a habit. Again, make it this for every single listing that you do. And a lot of people think, well, people are going to get annoyed through email marketing. It's not true. We need to see a lot of emails, a lot of follow-up before we really start to say, you know what, this guy is emailing me too much. I need to bounce out of this. Typically, we need about 21 different digital touch points for us to remember someone's brand. So, we're getting inundated with all sorts of emails and different things like that. So you can't get lost in the noise. You got to keep this follow-up again and again. So it's great to do it with every single listing and every type of lead that you get.
Yeah, and Travis, I know you are certainly the Facebook expert in real estate, but you also have a lot of experience with email marketing and using your list and building up a list. So essentially, you're using your Facebook marketing to build up this list, and then a lot of times you're taking that outside of Facebook and marketing to them directly through email. Can you talk to us a little bit about the value of keeping a good database and keeping that list? You mentioned 21 different digital touch points for somebody to become familiar with our brand. Why else is it so important?
Well, it's important because there's a lot of communication that takes place outside of email that is a bit more difficult to. It's a lot more effort, right? To return a phone call used to be really easy, but people's lives are getting busy, right? So to pick up a phone, and actually go through the process of trying to connect with that person, text message sometimes might be a little invasive again and again and again, right? This email campaigns are a little bit more acceptable, but it still drives a lot of the business. And then what we've seen time and time again is Facebook ads do really well if you have an email campaign attached to it and occasionally then some text messages kind of going out to kind of break the ice. And it's a great opportunity for an immediate response too, because you can just click reply and then right there is an opportunity for them to write back. And it's almost instantaneous. And as you grow that list, right, well, then it's your list. It's really important, that you have some sort of email marketing. And beyond that, email marketing at the end of the day is one of the most low-cost ways of marketing. And it's really underutilized. For us, a good majority of our business comes from email marketing. And statistically, they used to say about 15 to 20% of your revenue from your business should be coming from email marketing. And if it isn't, then something's off, right? So that's one of those things that keeping in front of them again and again and again. People look forward towards consistency. They look forward to emails that are from someone that they know. We all get tons of spam emails, but getting an email that is offering a story, an item of value, right? Something touching, touching their, kind of emotional, relevant consumer point of where they are, that is going to help you really drive your business. And so build that list because no one can take that list from you, right? That's your list.
Yeah, I love that. I talk about that all the time. There have been times where, I had past businesses where we built up a list of 30,000 people. It took years, but you're just adding a few people at a time. And if you're consistent with your marketing, we would have times where we would send out a series of 6 emails over a week and a half that would generate $100,000 for us. Right. That wouldn't have been there if we hadn't, gone out and actively just, okay, we're going to send these 6 emails. add some value, make an ask, put a call to action in there, and we get revenue from it. So I love that rule of kind of 15 to 20% of your revenue should come from your email list.
Yes.
And using all of the, using your listings with the goal of 2 buyers and 1 additional listing, market it on Facebook, build up your list. And then you're saying, well, then flaunt your list. Then tell your past clients about the size of your list. That means how many active buyers you have right now looking for a home. So I love how this all ties in together.
I got
Great stuff.
Tell you a quick story on when, this is just as I was starting to kind of do this methodology of getting new listings and doing this. We didn't really have a lot of our email marketing down just yet. And I was young, so I was kind of like, email, I don't really care about email. I was more focused on everything else. And there was a lead that came in from one of our campaigns. He had emailed me and I didn't respond because I was, doing other things. I didn't really find email that important just yet, but this is, I found it really important directly after this email that I got from him, which was, he sent me 2 emails asking about the property. I didn't respond. I got caught up doing things, moved on, Well, about 45 days later, he responded back and told me he actually sent me a voicemail and said, I just want to let you know, I did see your property. I became a lead. I emailed you 2 times. I never got a response back. I contacted the listing or I contacted another broker that had a listing next to the property. And they responded back. We closed and it was a $1.8 million deal. I just wanted to let you know, that you should probably respond to your emails. That one hurt because I could have double-ended a $1.8 million deal. During that time, that would have been really important. That would have changed my entire summer, right? We would have done, a lot more marketing and generated more leads and really kind of grown our business. We still were successful, but it really hit home that that's where a lot of the trust is in email marketing, right? So don't water down email marketing. It really dovetails perfectly with Facebook ads.
One more quick question on email. I'll just answer this real quick. And Travis, if you have anything, chime in. Alice says, I'm scared to send out too many emails. Hard to really pinpoint, but how many is too much in a week? And that totally depends. Again, like Travis has been saying, you've got to add value. If you're providing value and you're consistent with your emails, you can get away with sending a lot. I mean, I know people that send out 2 emails a day, 3 emails a day. Now, most of us are not going to be able to provide the value that it takes to put in the time and energy to create emails that are worthwhile to do that many. But I know very few real estate agents that are sending too many emails. Most of us err on the side of not enough. So if you're really curious, there's some other content that we have on our website around email. You can go to our blog and search, but essentially you should be just tracking how many unsubscribes you get. And that's, how many people are opening your emails, how many people are unsubscribing, and there's rules of thumb there. But, if I hear from 1 person or 2 people that say you're sending me too many emails, I don't let that ruin me, because we're always going to have people that do that. It doesn't mean you're actually sending too many emails. So every time somebody gives you feedback that you're sending too much, take it with a grain of salt and really pay attention. Am I providing value or is this spam? Do these people know me or am I emailing a cold list? All of that matters, and there's tons of nuance there.
Very true.
Anything to add, Travis?
Yeah, there's. I was thinking back to emails that I get today that I look forward to, and one of them they email me about twice a day. So you were right on there.
Yeah.
And it's been several years now that I've gotten their emails twice a day. So there's, I mean, the higher the frequency, the higher the opportunity that they're going to respond, right? It's going to generate more business. But again, providing value is critical. Don't sell in the emails. Just provide value, tell stories, updates, provide something that's going to enlighten them and help them with their whatever kind of decision-making, where they are as their life cycle as a consumer.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's get back to more of your tips here on the single property websites
Perfect. All right.
and responding.
Yeah. So now pivoting into more text messaging, which is equally important. Every time you market a listing through Walled Garden, sharing that to past leads and homeowners, but you want to let them know this is the kind of marketing that you do. Right? So every time you list something, again, you need to tap back into your market in your SOI and let them know that you're active. Because if we don't, then odds are they're going to work with someone else. Right? We've all been to that barbecue, that birthday party where, a cousin or an old friend walks up and tells you how they just bought a home and they closed on it and it wasn't you. And that kind of pang of anxiety, right, kind of comes in about what did I do? Did they know? And odds are it typically comes down to then just that they were unaware that you were in the business or that you're still in the business. So for this one, Hi, Marsha. I wanted to share with you this new listing that we just put on the market. Thought of you guys when we listed it. This is one of the single party websites we build for our listing clients, and then we promote it to targeted buyers on Facebook. By the way, did you ever decide on when you might list your home? So this is a really just easy, simple script that you can kind of edit over time. And you can either automate some of this and just personalize it, or you can go through, let's say you have, a top list of maybe 100 people that you're going to spend, the next 3 days just customizing these a little bit out there, or hire a VA to do it. But you can really do this in multiple different ways. But really, again, it's letting them know that, one, you're active in the market, you're getting listings, this is how you do the marketing for the listings, and then you're asking them a question. When do they plan on selling? So just another way, another source to get them to respond, to say, actually, yes, we are interested. That's a beautiful home. That's not the right price range for us, but we're about 30 days out. We'd love to talk to you about, our plans.
Yeah, that's great. Again, you're just leveraging your current listing and you're leveraging your list to just optimize your opportunities, sharing something of value, showing them what you can do for them, and then asking them a question at the end of that outreach. And you said you do this text and email, correct?
Yes. Yeah. The key thing is you want to do this via text and via email. So that way you're hitting them on multiple points, right? Via text, the open rate is typically 99%, right? So you're going to get a really high open rate, really high read rate. The replies, it might be more of around 65 to 70% reply. There's some that aren't going to reply back. That's okay, right? Our whole goal is just to get them aware that you are in the market doing these things.
Love it.
All right. So with this, what we're doing is now we're leveraging people that may know you on social media, but you don't have their email, you don't have their phone number. These are people that, like or follow you, that you're friends with, friends of friends. And you're then going to tell more of the story, the marketing story on how you market this property. For instance, there's an agent in my local market that has done this same strategy here. And I see it. I never comment on it or like his posts, but I always admire the way that he does it, because he has these really beautiful, gorgeous photos and announces the marketing story of how they list this. And we did the same thing. And so it's really cool to see someone else doing it. And now they're getting this luxury listings. He's the top luxury listing agent in our market. He always has these really gorgeous homes. So it's, this nice eye candy for a lot of people. And you wanted to then let them know that who's behind it and what you did. So tell the story about how you created a beautiful single party website, how then you created highly targeted Facebook ads, right? And then you're going to get it out there. Now, the cool thing with this is statistically, and this just came out actually, the PEW Institute recently revealed a report that shows that half of the world's population is on social media today. Half, right? So it's something we shouldn't ignore from a marketing standpoint of paid advertising or organic, right? We should be doing both. And that the average home buyer spends an hour and 20 minutes a day on Facebook. Right? And then around 20% of those are people that actually are homeowners that need to then buy as well. So this is what we're looking at here, right? As our world is getting more highly digital, to the point where 67% of today's buyers or in some of the sellers, or I think 73% of sellers, work with the first agent they have a conversation with. So it's all about making sure that you are putting multiple touch points out there, right? Multiple sticky touch points so that anywhere people are via email, text, social media, or if they see the ad itself, that they're going to engage or see your marketing. And again, this is all building that perception that you are the listing expert. And again, that mantra that we're going to get 2 buyers and 1 listing from every single ad that we build, or every single party, that we start to market out there.
That's great. So Travis, I'm sure everybody is, we had a few questions here. If you guys have any more questions for Travis, please put them in the Q&A or in the chat there, and we'll get to them right away. I know, David, you have another question that we'll get to here in a minute. Travis, do you have something else, anything else to show us? Because I know everybody's taking notes, hopefully, and trying to figure out what they can do to begin market their listings. And I know if everybody listening is like me, that has ever run Facebook ads before, it can be a very daunting task because there's so many options. There's so many different things you can do. It's hard to know if you're doing the right thing out of the gate. And I'm always mentally prepared to spend a bunch of money before I get it figured out.
Yeah, it's challenging. And we actually, we were timing, we did this test, we timed a lot of people. How long would it take the average real estate agent to build a Facebook lead generation campaign in Facebook through the ad manager, and then build a single property website and build a Facebook lead form? And typically it was around almost 2 hours that it would take. Now, that's not including the time that it takes to learn Facebook advertising and to keep updated on all the daily changes that take place. There's about 400 digital touch points inside of making a Facebook ad campaign and a single property website, uploading photos, writing website copy, right? It's a daunting task itself, and you are busy, right? So you shouldn't have to go through that whole process of having to do it. If you want to, that's great. But what we've done is we've built this walled garden software to really eliminate all of those headaches. And it's inside of Firepoint to where then it really works perfectly and dovetails with all of their tools. So I'm going to share my screen here and walk you through what that looks like. And I'm going to go in and show you 1 second here. Let me make sure that I've got this set up. Okay. So our whole goal with this was to build a software that basically was my Facebook marketing brain in a software that does all the work for you. So this is with millions of dollars in ad spend and advertising that we've done baked into a software that will do it in less than 30 seconds with a low amount of effort from you. So when you're going to be inside the Firepoint walled garden dashboard, you're going to go through Firepoint to get to it. You're going to find your listings, and all these listings are auto-populated here. You can then go, you can click on this. I'm going to choose this one, for example, and say, view Facebook ad. And it's instantly going to create the Facebook ad for me. So it has the business page, it has all of the ad copy already pre-written, has the ad image pulled up for you already, and the call to action headline, right? Some basic stats. Remember, we talked about ADIA, attention, interest, desire, and action, the ad copywriting formula. It's baked in here. We've already done that for you. So that way you don't have to think of any kind of catchy headline to write, any kind of ad copy that's going to generate a higher click-through rate. It's all been prepped for you. Now, if you want to edit this, you would simply hit edit, and then you can choose what this is called top copy. And we've battle tested well over 10,000 different ad campaigns to identify the top copy. That's what gets the highest click-through rate. We've hand selected those, so you can choose from there. This is pulled directly from the local MLS description. And again, this is what we call teaser copy. It's giving people just a little snippet of information about the property. So romancing them a little bit with what the property is, right? Piquing their interest, building up that desire, encouraging for a higher click-through rate. Now you can go through the photos. You can find the image that's going to generate the best click-through rate for you. Now, again, we said that exterior images are going to generate a much higher click-through rate versus interior. So make sure to choose the exterior image. I'm going to choose this one here. Great view of the mountains. You know, you got a nice fire porch back there. So now the ad is completed. That's done. Next is then the ad duration. How long do you want the ad to run for? So we've got a minimum of 10 days. And we can scale it to 30 if you want, or something in between, but for this one, say 10 days. And if you're doing ads on your own, please don't do them less than 10 days. It's going to be suboptimal performance. Facebook needs more time to get more data to really learn to have a higher performance. So 10 days bare minimum. Daily budget, $10 a day. So what we're doing with that is we're actually spending a little bit more than the competition in the ad auction. So that way we win higher visibility, which means we get in front of more people, which generates then a higher click-through rate and then more leads at a lower cost per lead. You can scale that up if you want. You have the opportunity, or just leave it down at $10 a day. Now, the default targeting here is a 15-mile radius around the property address. If you want to target a different city, then you can target New York or Portland or any kind of city that you want. You just type that in here, and it's going to target that market area with the specific targeting that we have built in place. But for this, I'm going to say that the default here, we're going to choose a 15-mile radius. What we're doing there is now we're using special targeting where we're aggregating and leveraging around 50,000 data points on these prospects in this market area. So to kind of give you an example of some of them, we're targeting people that have engaged with certain websites or that have done certain behaviors and habits online and offline that would indicate they're going to be buying or selling in the near future. So we might target them by certain things like, let's say, Zillow, Realtor.com, maybe Credit Karma, online mortgage calculator, right? Home buying or house hunting. All of those are going to be mixed in with a lot of other data that we aggregate, along with then targeting people within that market that own a home or that people that are renting and that are first-time home buyers. So there's going to be a mix of each, right? Depending on that geographic area that you're targeting. So then we have our ad spend here, right? And the ad spend is based on the number of days and then how much per day, and then the service fee that's associated with that. And then we say agree, let's purchase this ad. And then we go through, and once we buy the ad, type in the credit card details, we use the Facebook Marketing API. And what means that essentially that our ads get expedited review process. So they always get approved. They never get denied or rejected. A lot of people right now are finding that their ad is getting rejected or denied, or it takes hours or a day for it to go through a review period. Ours typically takes about 5 to 10 minutes, and it goes through really fast. So then once it's gone and off and running, targeting those people in that market that you selected, it is then showing this ad to them as it is here. When they see it and they click on it, the ad will flip around into that Facebook lead ad, right? That mini form where we ask for their name, email, phone number, and then when they plan on buying a new home. It'll automatically pull their information from the social profile. And then we ask them a qualifying question, which is when they plan on buying a new home. Next 30 days, all the way up to 12 months and just looking. So we have some kind of heat priority index based on that question there. Now, the cool part there is then this is sent into Firepoint, right? So you see all your leads inside of there. So you have all of your leads, and then you can go ahead and kick off any kind of nurture campaign to respond to those people, as we just described, how critical that really is. Now, the prospect, after they go through that 3 seconds of becoming a lead, they're sent to this beautiful single property website. And these websites are built instantly inside of the walled garden Firepoint software. So these websites are built in less than 50 milliseconds of when you create this ad. These are generated. So the prospect is sent here to see all the information that was promised on the ad. They can go through, check out all the details and all the website copy that we've created for them. This is all instantly created. Nothing you have to write. You have to upload anything. It's all been done for you. Then down here, they can click to call, tap to email, right, or tap to call with the agent. It's mobily optimized, it's fast loading, and it does a great job really showcasing the property in a way that really impresses the homeowner. And that way you can also use this to win other listing appointments and show people, hey, we build these for you, and we run Facebook ads to them, and we generate leads and do a great job of doing it. I want to share with you real quick, before we dive back into that, a quick case study that this was a gentleman, an agent that had a 3,940% return on investment from his walled garden ads. He ran 2 walled garden ads. He spent $495, generated 570 leads, 87 cents cost per lead. Currently now has 18 active clients that they're showing homes to, 2 homes under contract and 1 home closed, with $20,000 in commissions earned so far. So that's just the first part, the first wave of his journey with walled garden. He's actually said that he's the possibility of making $160,000 in gross commissions over the next 6 months from walled garden. So you've gotten some great success from some success stories from a lot of people. I recently got a text message from an agent out of Florida. She double-ended a $1.7 million listing from her walled garden ad, her very first walled garden ad. So some great success there. So we keep getting those success stories flowing in, and we couldn't be more excited to be working with Firepoint and have this inside of Firepoint with access to all the Firepoint tools that people can really leverage to make walled garden more successful for them. So we're going to kind of recap real quick how easy it is in less than 30 seconds to choose a listing, right? So let's choose this one here. We're going to go ahead and build one. And I'm going to say, all right, let's go ahead and edit that headline there. Maybe I'll see price, location, and photos. And I'm going to go ahead and choose maybe this one here with a pool, hit save. And then now I'm going to run this for, let's say, maybe 14 days, and then hit agree, hit purchase. And then about 5 minutes later, we have a high-performing, high-converting Facebook ad promoting your listing, getting seen by thousands of people in a market area, generating leads, and then sending them over to a beautiful single property website that is instantly built for you with all of your information and all your data on it.
Yeah, it's so easy compared to having to do it all yourself.
Yes.
So I'm going to share my screen real quick, and there's some more questions. I know we're right at time here. There's a few more questions. I do want to just mention a couple of quick things before we get to the rest of the questions. So if you're interested in trying walled garden out, I highly recommend just starting with a demo of Firepoint. If you go to firepoint.net/demo, you can, we'll reach back out to you and just give you a demonstration of what we can do with our CRM, our websites, with walled garden and the single property websites. And if you set up a demo today, you're going to qualify for $1 on your first month of the platform. So there's all kinds of benefits to our CRM. Hopefully you saw some value in using walled garden to market your listings and generate a lot of leads. We've seen a ton of success stories like the one that Travis just shared. They come out immediately upon somebody using walled garden. It's like after somebody runs an ad for a couple of weeks, there is success story after success story there. So go to firepoint.net/demo and get in touch with us there. And you'll qualify for $1 of your first month of Firepoint. Walled garden is built inside of Firepoint, so we'll connect your listings, and like Travis showed us a minute ago, it'll make it really easy for you to just a few clicks get these ads running. The single property website is generated for you automatically, and away you go. And we're going to do a lot of the legwork to get you all set up to be able to do that with just a few clicks. So Travis, a couple more questions if you have another minute here to hang back. So David asked, are your property ads designed to get phone numbers, not just email addresses? If you generate a lead with only email addresses, do you continue to market to them for a set time period?
Great question. Yes. So they're designed to generate the first name, last name, phone number, and email. Yeah. So we get the phone number and email.
Great. Kathy says, I have Firepoint. Do I have access to this now? So Kathy, if you just reach out to our support team, they can make sure that you have access. So they'll have to just connect your, they might have to just connect your MLS, but if you email support, say you want access to walled garden, they will set you up. I'm going to click over to the chat here. Let's see. Okay. Is this included in the Firepoint program, or is there a charge for it? So the platform is included. There is a small fee for each ad that you run. But there's no, just getting access to it is free. So you can run as many or as few ads as you want. Is walled garden available in every version of Firepoint my team uses? Yes. Just reach out to support. Shauna says, does this work with Canadian listings?
That's a good question. I think that's a question probably for the Firepoint support.
Yeah.
They can give more details.
Yeah, there might be some work that they have to do to get you connected, but email support and they can look into it for you. Let's see. Can you customize the one-click Facebook ads if you want to use a set of target words by default?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Kathy says, can you still customize the one-click Facebook ads, i.e. if you want to use a set of target words by default?
Yes, so you can customize the ad copy on there. So you can go ahead and use any kind of ad copy you want to. You can, use any kind of verbiage you want, but the background as far as targeting and everything else is something that the software does for you. So it's all just automated software that makes those best decisions based on best practices. But the ad copy, you can control that.
Felix says, what's the cost of Firepoint for a single agent? So, or is it better for teams? Yeah, we have single agents. We're definitely a team platform. We target teams, but we do have single agents that are using Firepoint. Firepoint comes with a customizable IDX website, a full-blown CRM, lots of third-party integrations, reporting, property valuation tools. So there's a whole suite of services that come with a standard Firepoint subscription, and that's $4.99 a month. But again, if you set up a demo today, it's $1 for your first month. And if you are on the fence, just reach out and we'll have a demo. We always say no is a perfectly acceptable answer, but we'll make it worth your while. We hire only professionals that are well-versed in the real estate space. They talk to teams and solo agents day in and day out and understand your pains. And so they'll ask you a few questions, make some recommendations, and no is a perfectly acceptable answer for us. At least then you have all of the information to make a determination of whether it's going to be a good fit for you. Are ads compliant to the local association rules? Yes,
they are. We've worked really hard with a team of attorneys, MLS, and data providers to make sure that everything is compliant.
Great. And Felix, you're asking about competitors. Again, I think there's a lot of great tools out there in the industry. A lot of our competitors have great tools. We think ours is a little bit better. And I would invite you to reach out and just have a quick demo. And they can do some comparisons with you and make sure to highlight the things that matter most to you, because everybody's business is a little bit different. Everybody runs their team differently. Everybody's at a different place in their career, and there is no good one-size-fits-all strategy for real estate. And we just recommend getting on the phone. We can walk you through some of the pros and cons there, help you make an educated decision. Is there a set discount for Firepoint and Walled Garden together if you already have RealVolve? Yes. So you should reach out to that firepoint.net/demo. Go there and fill out the form and let them know that you're a RealVolve customer. We can talk to you about some of the benefits that you get for being with RealVolve currently. So we do have two different CRMs. One of them is a workflow platform, and the other is the IDX website, where we do lead generation and some advanced reporting and lead routing and all kinds of cool stuff. There's some subtle nuances there, but we do have plenty of people that are using both, especially teams. A lot of them have both the IDX website lead management portion of Firepoint and the workflows and past client follow-up side on the RealVolve front. Any other questions for Travis before we wrap up here? Do you need videos to prepare leads, or pictures are fine?
I believe it's probably a question about the Facebook ad itself. Pictures are perfect and do really, really well. So no need for videos.
Jennifer, this is not a recording. We're live.
Hi, Jennifer.
I don't know if I missed. Did I miss one of Jennifer's questions here? Jennifer, if I missed your question, I'm sorry, but I didn't see anything. I thought I got to everything. Thanks for checking on that for us. I thought I was recording as well. Well, it will be a recording. Right now it's live, but it will be a recording and will be sent out. Does the service fee go to Facebook or Walled Garden or taxes? So that fee goes to Walled Garden and Firepoint so that we can continue to invest in technology. So there's a lot of work that goes into supporting and building that technology. The rest of your money goes directly to Facebook. So that's one of the things that I love about the way that this tool was built, you and your team did, Travis, because it's so transparent. What I've seen across the board is a lot of people will take marketing dollars for lead generation and they spread it out to lots of different sources. They hide the fees, and they even sometimes share leads, which in my opinion is just appalling behavior. But we do see that around the industry. And so we're really transparent here about what's going to, what's a fee and what is actually going to your ads. We do that on the pay-per-click side as well. So Firepoint does managed pay-per-click, and the fees are extremely transparent, I think much more so than some of our competitors that you're going to see out in the marketplace. Not going to name any names, but they are out there. All right. Well, again, we're overtime. So Travis, thank you so much again for hanging out with us and sharing your knowledge. So cool, this tool that you have built based on all of your experience, and it's so fun to see all the success stories coming out of it. Highly encourage everybody to run some experiments on Walled Garden. You will not be disappointed. It's a fantastic tool. It's effective. Like Travis said, it's all the copy and the strategies have been battle tested, and they work. So reach out to us if you're not currently a Firepoint customer. Go to firepoint.net/demo. Stay tuned for the recording and some other, we'll send out some of the slides and things like that. So stay tuned for that. And if you have any other questions, shoot us an email, reply to the emails that you get, and we'll try to respond to everything that we get. Any parting final words, Travis?
You said it perfectly. I think that, if you want to give it a try, Firepoint has a great offer. I mean, $1. I don't know what really costs $1 these days. You can't even compare it to a cup of coffee anymore.
Not much.
So, right. Not much at all. So for 4 quarters, give this a try, jump in. You won't be disappointed. And we love working with Firepoint. So thank you everyone for taking the time to be here today, and just do yourself a favor, is continue to leverage technology to make your life easier. Trust me, it helps so much. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Bye for now.